All right, welcome. Awesome. Hi, everyone. I always love this is really one of my favorite parts is seeing everybody come on in because everybody's usually smiling too, and it's so wonderful to see. Ah, Patty Joy got your hair done. Looks nice. I love it. Cool. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. Today is recorded for podcast and YouTube, so keep that in mind as you share on the open um, microphone today. Um, we have Bethany Taulbee with us, and let me just put this music down. And Bethany sent me a bio, but honestly, I don't know where it's at. And I was on another call and I'm a little unprepared, quite frankly. Um, but so I just figured I would ask Bethany to share a little bit about her with us. I know she's local to the area I'm in, and we both trained at Heartwood Yoga Institute. And y'all know I've talked about that place quite a bit. So to me, that says something right there. And she's a yoga instructor. She's also a poet, and she's got a lot of other stuff under her skin there. And she wanted to talk about writing from her heart today. And so I'm just gonna turn it over to you, Bethany, to introduce yourself to the gang and however you want to have this conversation go. And then after that, maybe just take a couple breaths or something to ground us in all of this mix. But welcome, Bethany. Welcome to the conversation. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Jen. And I'm just honored and tickled to be here and see all you lovely ladies, all your smiling faces. Truly, it's wonderful just to connect with other women and writers and creative thinkers. So, yeah. Well, my name's Bethany, as you know. I also go by Beth. I have a little yoga business called Take a Breath with Beth, and it's very special to me. I like to bring writing into yoga. I share poetry at the end of every class that I teach, sometimes mine, sometimes somebody else's writing. And I love words. I've always loved words. I didn't have much of a voice growing up, so I turned to writing, and that became pretty much my way of expressing myself until I was a little bit older and I found a voice. But I started writing to learn how to express myself, to get my feelings out. It's been saving grace for me in a lot of ways. It's been an amazing journey. I feel like I have this living record of my life through poetry. I can look back on like the teenage archives, you know, and just sort of say, wow, I was really angry that day, or, I was feeling so sad, and just kind of like reflect on my entire journey through poetry. So it's sort of like this poetic journal I'll have. And yeah, it's just so wonderful to be able to share that with others. I also tutor children with dyslexia here in Inglewood, so that's another avenue that words took me in my journey, and I just absolutely love it. Um, I couldn't imagine having so much challenges reading and writing because that was always my strong suit. Math was a different story for me. I always needed help with numbers, but the letters always came naturally. So yeah, I've been a resident of Inglewood for about 20 years, and um, yeah, it's a beautiful place, and I just am super happy to be welcomed into this space. So thank you so much.
Cool. Um, Do you want to do a little bit of a presentation, or do you want to read a couple of poem, or how would you like to start today?
Yeah, I think grounding is a great idea. So let's all just take a few moments to just get comfortable in whatever position you're in and just sort of let your body soften. Allow yourself to feel heavy towards the ground. Gently close your eyelids. And then just soften the body, soften those little spaces sometimes that we forget about, like that little space between your eyebrows. Loosen the jaw. See if you can create any more space between your ears and your shoulders. Feel your feet touching the ground or the floor, wherever you're at. Starting to feel into the energy of the earth below, bringing you into this present moment, leaving behind any other moments, just focusing on the here and now, allowing any thought to just drift by without reaching for it, without creating attachment. Just imagine your thoughts like little tiny clouds just sort of floating away, kind of making their way through your sky of consciousness. And then just begin to feel into your breath, just noticing the breath and welcoming the breath, feeling the inhale and the exhale as they enter and exit the body. And just acknowledging the miracle of the breath, the perfect way in which that inhale and that exhale complement each other. On the inhale, feeling that cool air enter into your nostrils and fill your chest and belly. And then noticing on the exhale, as you release and let go, the warmth of the breath and that feeling of allowing yourself to relax, to take that pause before you take your next inhale. And gently, that rise and fall of the belly brings you to a state of regulation, of relaxation. Breathing here in this space, close to the earth, feeling the energy of the stability of the earth below, and also feeling the guidance and the magic above and everything that surrounds you in between. Dropping out of that head space down into the heart. And if you'd like, place your hands on your chest and just feel into your big, beautiful heart. Feeling it open, feeling it connected, first to yourself, and then to the energy around you. Feeling our hearts connect on this call, even as we are apart, we are together. Bringing in the openness, the readiness to receive, the wonderment of possibility, and the magic of creativity. And just continue to breathe there. Let yourself just hang out in that heart space. Maybe even inviting in beautiful emerald green color, or maybe bright pink or deep red, whatever visualization inspires you. And just staying here for a moment, and just breathing and being. Whenever you feel ready to return, take a deep breath in. Bring it in through the nose, fill the belly to fullness, and then just sigh it all out when you're ready. And begin to flutter your eyes open, very slowly allowing the light back into your gaze. Coming back to this moment.
Thank you. Did you have a poem specifically you want to share with us today?
I do, yes. I recently had the honor and privilege of being published in the Peace Please community book, and that was just such a wonderful thing. So I will share a poem, or my poem, that I contributed. It's titled Footprint. What footprint will you leave on this life? One of pain and strife, or one of joy and love? Will you stick your head in the sand like an ostrich, or bring messages of peace like the dove? Will you fly high like the grand eagle, or stay low and slither like the snake? Are you still asleep, or maybe half awake? Awareness comes with a sting. Acceptance brings the antiseptic. Self-love heals the marred. Enlightenment allows us to share our beautiful scars. We are a human family. We hold each other by the roots of the ancient tree, deep into Mother Earth with its foundation, intertwining our soul connection. Transparency are our branches that extend tall. Love is the blooming beauty of it all. Thank you.
So let me ask you because I did put the call out for poems of peace. And is this a poem that you wrote specifically for the book or that you've had written before?
I actually had had this poem for probably a few years. Yeah, but as soon as I heard Peace Please, Footprint came into my mind. So that was the one.
Do you want to go into a deeper reflection of like why you write? I know you said that you've done it since you were a child, but why do you do it as an adult? And I've actually stumbled across you doing one on YouTube. I think it was at the local outside place down there, the open studio maybe. And that was a very powerful poem that you read there also. What is it that is making you, because it's very vulnerable. It's very vulnerable for you to stand and do what you do. So I just wanted to kind of I like to get to dig deeper. I want to know like what is underneath it all, you
Sure.
know?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So, well, as a child, I wrote to have a voice, like I said, and that sort of, continued through adolescence into adulthood. I was an extremely soft-spoken child slash teenager, so um, I grew up very differently than a lot of people. I was kind of in this very, very sheltered kind of life, and my parents had certain beliefs, so a lot of things weren't allowed to be expressed as a child, as a woman as well, in the organization that I was raised in. So turning to writing was like the only way I felt safe to really express myself without judgment or expectation. And that continued into my adulthood.
Let me pause here for a second. Did you share your writings back then, or was it just between you and you?
It was just between me, myself, and I until I got into high school. And I had such a fear of speaking in front of people. I actually pushed myself to join speech and debate team. And I was pretty shocked that my parents allowed me to do that because they were very restrictive. So I started reading poetry in front of the class, and was I would just shake, like my whole body would shake. I would try to hold the paper's shaking. I mean, it was really tough. And I know that I think that's like one of the top three, fears, common fears is public speaking. But I was so tired of not having a voice. And I just, like my brave teen self was like, I'm going to do this. So I did. And then I started going around to different schools and competing and reading poetry and actually won a few little trophies and awards. And I was just thrilled. And then I became the editor of my literary magazine in high school. So that was uh, really awesome. I had a creative writing teacher who just opened me up to all kinds of different ways of writing, of wordplay, of how to structure lettering when you're writing for you to get a feel of like how the energy's flowing through the verses. I mean, she was pivotal in my writing journey.
Do you have any of those tips you want to share here today?
Sure. So she opened me up to just playing with letters, which is just something I never really thought about too much. When if you write out tall, starting with a lowercase t and then slowly getting to an uppercase, ALL. So it looks like tall, or falling, and then writing the letters looking like they're falling down and sort of playing with spelling, um, kind of just making the words more of your own, even if they're not spelled correctly. Just kind of, yeah, like maybe,
Right.
capitalizing certain parts of words to emphasize, like capital W-O and then lowercase M-A-N, stuff like that. So she just really helped me visually to write, um, in a more deeply creative way. So I continued writing, and I I just have just a ridiculous amount of writing. So I thought I would just continue to share, and I started going to open mics around town, like you mentioned, the open studio, and I've also been down to Culture Coffee in Inglewood. They have an open mic. There's a really awesome open mic in Punta Gorda at a place called Downtown Cava. And I also, I'm starting to share more online, and I've done it on Facebook and started to share on a YouTube channel, and just really getting my voice out there online is different for me. It's almost more vulnerable because everybody can see it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now in my sharing journey. But it's a little bit scary, but I just continue to do it, and I just feel, like just honored to be able to share this with people, and to get the feedback that I've gotten from people that it really touches their souls. I've inspired my kids to write. They inspire me. It's just great.
Right. So you have more than one child? I know you have a son.
I do. I have two. I have a girl and a boy, a 26-year-old boy and a 22-year-old girl. And my son he writes for his podcast, so that's his inspiration.
Say
Yeah,
that again. Did you say you had a 26-year-old son?
I do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think you looked old enough.
Oh, well, thank you. It's all the
But
yoga.
they say that about me too. So I've got a 41-year-old daughter, so I understand that too. Um, yeah, do you have another poem or is there anything else a different direction you'd like to go in?
I do have another poem. I would like to share that I've been a widow for going on 9 years. So I'm no stranger to grief. Um, Writing has helped me immensely, grow through grief because of just not really learning tools growing up on how to express grief, and just, stuffing feelings with other stuff, food, drink, whatever, things that we do as humans. So yeah, this one is about a grief journey. So I will share now. It's titled Transformation. I have been to the depths of sadness, shook hands with my own darkness. I have teetered on the edge of death, one foot hanging off a cliff. I have felt my lungs heavy and full, gasping for one more breath. I have had my body turned upside down as my heart shattered. I have held a picture of life in my hands as it was ripped away. I have danced with the shadows of my own demons. Yet, I have also heard the whisper of spirit. I have been carried from the storm, gently placed on shore, swiftly pulled back from that cliff. Given the precious gift of breath, I have felt my heart sing again as it began to be put back together. I have had a renewed picture of my life, returned to sight. I have accepted the invitation to re enter the light. I have rediscovered my space within the universal heart.
Thank you. Did not know that. Did not know that. Uh, I had an experience last year. My ex-husband, who I hadn't seen in 25 years, passed away, and I'll tell you that was hard enough, you know. So, losing a spouse is something that is got to be pretty ridiculous because you're losing your friend too. So sorry for your loss on that. Let me back up a minute to writing from the heart. So that was what we titled this conversation. How do you drop into your heart when you write then is what I want to ask, I guess.
Sure. So it's sort of a combination of things. Um, I've actually just stopped the car and pulled over somewhere because I just needed to release something on paper or a napkin or notes on my phone, whatever's available. And sometimes I do like intentionally create a space to write. Like I'll go into a meditative state and I'll sit close to the ground and I'll think on something or whatever's going on in my life at the moment. There's something I want to release, whether it's joy or sadness, what have you. But oftentimes it just kind of comes through. It's almost like a channeling. I just feel like this feeling come over me, like I need to stop what I'm doing, go sit down or find a space and just write. And then it just sort of flows out. And afterwards, I feel like I've just taken this huge exhale and just, let my heart breathe. So,
Mm,
oftentimes we're writing from the head throughout the day, we're responding to messages, emails, what have you. So, writing from the heart is just a completely different energy. It comes from a different place. I believe it comes from my higher self connecting deeply with me. I'm a yogi or a yogini, so I feel the crown and the heart chakra and the throat chakra all connect, and then expression comes forth through the sacral. Um, and all of them work together, but anyway, that's just yeah, it's kind of
yeah, the flow of energy. Yeah, I mean, and everything doesn't have to be specific practices because even just sitting outside, beneath the trees, and actually some people are where it's really freezing right now, and they're not able to sit outside. But yeah, it doesn't have to be a so-called meditation practice because that is a meditation practice. There's so many. I mean, just our lives can be. Um, i- i- a reflective question, something for these ladies to contemplate and bring up. I want to have a little bit of discussion. So, what thought-provoking question or comment should we ponder here for a minute and open it up for conversation? Not to put you on the spot.
oh, no worries. I am curious, ladies, what your creative process is, how it flows for you, how the energy comes through you, how you manifest and create your wishes, dreams, hopes, whatever they are on paper. What does that look like for you?
So the creative process, how does my poetry show up on the page?
Yes.
What, anybody want to jump in on that? Patty Joy.
Uh, what I was going to say as you were saying that, thank you very much for being here and getting my mind working again today, is that sometimes it's just a word I hear that calls to me. And I was in a group the other day and I can't remember who it was. Oh, it was yoga, my yoga group. And she mentioned the word wellspring. And that took me into a whole day of just being present with that word and connecting it with my dearly beloved Selkie self. And it was a phenomenal coming together. That doesn't always happen, but I do sit and think about a word, what she's saying, that word wellspring, wellspring, wellspring. Just so that's the one I did that particular day. I'm otherwise I look, I see something, and I just know I want to write. And I write more for me than for somebody else, but it's still a beautiful experience. And I too went through a time in my life where I was not being myself. So this is a wonderful space to be where you could just be whoever you are and write whoever you are and travel wherever you want to go.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure. Patty Joy, do you write every day,
yes, but it's
multiple
some,
times a day, or just once?
sometimes, and sometimes it's not multiple times. Sometimes it's just, it depends. It might be just a haiku. It might be just words that come to me as I'm thinking about whatever, this whole picture. I might just write down words as they come to me and sit and look at them. Don't
Mm.
take the whole time to write the poem. But it's,
Oh, I like that.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
that because I find that a lot of my writing time slot is contemplation.
Oh,
I'm
yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not it's not really coming out yet. And so now I'm here and if I just put some words down, that's
You,
gonna be my strategy.
I want you to know that you've given more words than you know. You don't, I mean, you've got to take time to say, I'm, I'm me, I'm Jin, and I have this to share. And you will find it. I mean, you already have.
Oh, I know, isn't it? I'm just surprised how buried my voice is, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's no surprise. I mean, honestly, I look and I'm like, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
I
I've been
poke,
called
yeah.
more, yeah, for sure. Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing. Does anybody else want to share about their writing practice or creative process or anything like that? Come on.
Oh, I echo what Patty said. I do a lot of writing, mostly for me. Sometimes I'll write a poem with a particular friend or person in mind, and then I'll send it to them and say, "You inspired me to write the poem." I can only write in longhand. I guess I'm really old school. I've tried to use the computer. I mean, I end up, if I have something I really like, I will, if I feel like it's done, type it in a Word document, but I really enjoy fancy pens and I have like a zillion journals. And so I enjoy writing by hand in various journals that I have.
And do you write every day?
Yeah, I write every day. I'm also a yoga enthusiast or 200-hour yoga teacher.
Oh, yay.
And I have actually had to learn adaptive yoga since I had some health challenges this year. But so I feel like I'm learning yoga all over again from when I first was certified years ago. So that's been a really interesting experience. But as Patty said, sometimes it's a word or a concept that will really speak to me, and then I'll think about that throughout the day. So one of the classes that I take online, excuse me, the instructor does Iyengar yoga, which is new because I had learned trauma informed vinyasa. So he said, I am not a paraplegic, but he is when he teaches from a wheelchair, and said,
Is
think
it
of
Matthew
your,
Sanford?
yes, Matthew. So he said, think
Oh,
of
yeah.
your limbs and your spine as a river, but your spine is like the center of the river, and then your limbs are the different currents. And I thought about that for the whole day. I was like, wow, it is a really interesting way of thinking of your body.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks so much, Pia. Yeah, and not to take too much time away from you here, Bethany, I just want to say this about Matthew Sanford. I think he is brilliant.
He really
I
is. Yes,
love
he
his
is.
mind. I love his mind. Matthew is, I don't know how old he is now. I think he's probably in his 50s somewhere. And he offers free yoga. And he has a beautiful community. And actually, m- my little group has supported him. I think it was 2024. They have a yogathon thing to collect money because everything's offered for free. But Matthew, his family got into an accident when Matthew was 14 years old, and he was left paralyzed from his waist down. And it took him years before he realized that the doctors just told him he would never be able to move again. So he kind of like let it go, from the waist down. And until he realized the connection of mind body. And that's the name of his thing is Mind Body Solutions. Um, but to where you can have sensation or at least some kind of communication. And everybody, yoga is for everybody. And it's really amazing. His community. I can't say enough about that. I'm glad to hear that you go to that. And I'll probably post a link to it, to his website on my website so people can get information about it because everybody can do yoga. And
He's
it's more
very
about,
helpful. And there's
oh
people
my
on
God.
there who can't move at all for various reasons, chronic fatigue, long haul COVID, Parkinson's,
Hmm.
whatever.
Hmm.
But all of the instructors say if you're breathing with us, you're doing yoga.
That's
So,
right. Well,
mhm.
yoga it's misunderstood and that it's just one of the pieces, and it's really the movement of energy, like Beth was talking about this energy, and it's not quite frankly, it's not too different than the writing. It's about our relationship with ourselves. It's this energy field, and there's probably lots of practices that fall into that category. But for me, why I really like it is the energetic aspect of it. Energy needs to move, and if it doesn't move, it gets stagnant. And that is probably very similar from what I'm finding to the writing. And yeah, oh, let's get back. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. And yeah, Matthew Sanford, he's got a book or two out there also. Thanks, Pia, for sharing. Does anybody
You're
else,
welcome.
Stacy, did you want to share? Yeah, okay, cool.
Hi. Yeah, that kind of ties in the energy flow. Um, I've kind of written my whole life, but recently, 7 years ago, I had a pretty intense, unexpected trauma with the loss of four family members, all at once and during December. So during my grief, I've kind of been running and traveling and trying to not face it, and because it's so difficult to face the grief, but writing has been like such a crucial part of like letting some of that energy flow, the heaviness, the grief. Sometimes you can't always share very deep and heavy things with people. So I find that poetry is like my constant outlet every single day, no matter if I'm traveling. I've always got like my phone or a pen, so I can always just have this like therapeutic outlet to really just kind of, I like how Bethany said it, like let my heart breathe. And yeah, it's been like a life raft during the grief and a spiritual practice, a way to connect with my loved ones. So yeah, I would say I'm kind of letting go of the fear of like ego, and I'm using it as like I have to do this for my grief and myself. So that's kind of, I don't know, my loss has kind of deepened my ability to write, share with people, not really feel embarrassed. Yeah, it's been a life-saving thing for me.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. It's challenging. You're putting your heart on a plate, you know, and that is totally vulnerable, so within reason, especially when there's raw sensitivity, you know, the only way out is through, though, right? We all know that one for sure. Thank you. And it's so good to see you back in the game, girlfriend. Thanks for being back in the game. Maggie.
Hi, everybody. I'm kind of the oh, I don't know what to call me here. Well, first of all, I'm always the oldest one in every group. I'm 87 now, so that's pretty ancient. But that doesn't usually bother me. It's very weird what happens to me. I am part of another kind of a writing group with a bunch of Crohn's, the Crohn's organization that I belong to. If anybody wants to check it out, it's called Crone Awakening Wisdom dot something or other. And it's just a wonderful group of women. I'm in love with them, just like I am with you. I am not a writer that fits in. I mean, I am a writer. We're all writers in a way. Um, I spent 15 years being a visual artist, and then the muse kind of tripped off into the distance, and it wasn't so much fun anymore. And I thought, if it's not filling me up, I don't need to do it. There's a lot of different ways to express oneself. I have journaled my whole forever. I threw a whole batch of journals away when at a certain point where I thought, I don't want my kids to read these ever because they're going to get the wrong idea. So those went up in a campfire once. But so while I'm not editing myself, I'm careful to include or explain things better, even in a journal format, just in case I drop dead and they start reading them, which I don't think is going to happen. I love this experience, though, of hearing about you writers and poets, the people who do it every day. And of course, journal writing is writing, and I do that many days, but it's not the kind of disciplined, really working to make words just flow. Yeah, there's something that I don't do, and I don't even want to do it right now. If the spirit of the pen, of the poetry, wants me to write something someday, I will. But I aging for me is just figuring there's
It's
enough
interesting. It's
there
interesting.
there's enough tough stuff in life that you go through, and the grief is certainly one of them. And I think it tempers us. An interesting thing that happens to me while I'm not writing right now, all this stuff, I think, oh, I wish I had a tape recorder, because I guess I'm getting so old that I'm really in touch with all the people that I've lost in my life that are in some cosmic dust world. And I have these conversations with them out loud sometimes if I'm in the forest or the desert. And we talk to each other. And it is fascinating, our conversations, with, uh, and I feel like my mom is right there next to me on the walking the path. I don't
Right.
feel the need to write this down, but in a way, something's being written. They're words, whether they're spoken words or written words. They're just something, and it's just a joy to me right now. And the other weird thing that happened, and then I'll let someone else share, is a couple nights ago after, I don't know if it was one of your Zen Gen author people, I can't remember. Can't keep track of where.
Neither can I. Don't worry about it.
No, but I woke up in the middle of the night, kind of with this whole poem or something, essay written, and it was called, or maybe I was sleeping. I don't know if I was awake or not awake, but the title of it was Yes, No, Maybe. And it was quite long, just about the paradoxes of life and the need to grasp, to live with opposites, with joy and sorrow at the same time, even without going
Right.
nuts. And so it was quite astonishing. And I don't know if I'll ever remember what I wrote in my nighttime wanderings, but it was for me. It deepened that need to not have to say, oh yes, this is definitely yes, because so much stuff in my life is a yes, no, maybe thing. And that
Absolutely.
many paths, many journeys that are right. And I just waste my energy trying to figure out, oh, what's the best way? What's the right? What does the spirit want me to do? And waiting for some sign. And you know what? It's just too exhausting. So I have to live with uncertainty, embrace uncertainty. So
I'm
thank
finding
you.
that easier. Oh man, I love it. Are you kidding me? I love it when you're back. Now Maggie takes her RV and goes out in the middle of nowhere with no electric or nothing, stay for weeks on end.
Months.
Uh, her kids are
Yeah.
lucky to
And
get a
then
phone
then
call
I
that
have
she's okay.
then I have great conversations with the trees and the cactus and the and sometimes people do cross.
Yeah. So the truth is, it's you're enjoying finally this relationship with yourself to the maximum. And I think if you wrote this stuff, it would slow you down from the experience.
Well, thank you for saying that because that's kind of the way I feel. And yet I have this deep admiration for the people who do write every day and then they read some beautiful bunch of words hanging together and I'll go, oh, that's so cool.
It is. It's an art form. It's definitely an art form. But yeah, thanks so much, and thanks so much for being here too.
Yep.
Does anybody else want to share their process or anything about their writing or lack of? Okay, Judy, thank you. Yeah.
Well, I think Maggie, oh, what's happened here? I think Maggie is not the oldest today because I'm 85, okay? I can't
You're
hear
on
you.
mute. You're on mute, Maggie. Oh, 87.
Ah, okay.
Good. Well, I'm glad to be in such good company. Thank you, ladies,
Um,
for being here.
well, I've started something this year in my writing. I have a friend, I didn't really know her very well, who asked if I would like to partner her writing a haiku every day. And I find haikus very difficult because I use lots of words and often long words with lots of syllables. So that kind of makes haikus a bit tricky. But it's also a very good discipline, not just to write and let it flow, but concentrate on all the words and concentrate on exactly what you want to say. And although I don't write haikus that I would ever have published because they're a bit rubbish sometimes, I do find that it helps me in my other writing. It kind of concentrates my thinking in a way that I wouldn't normally work on. But my way of writing is usually like, we talk a lot about grief. My husband died on the winter solstice 35 years ago. And it's unfortunate in a way, or maybe fortunate, that he died on a day that is really on the calendar and we think about, and it'll come up in the news and all that. So I can't actually forget that we're coming up to the anniversary of his passing. But on the other hand, it is the time, the day that the time stands still. And of course, time does stand still for me still when I think about it. And every year, all of a sudden, I get this rush of enthusiasm about writing something. And some of it is my best writing. It's, and I don't always share it with other people. I don't particularly want to share that kind of thought. But I do think that, first of all, I wouldn't let myself do it. I didn't want to dwell on it. I wanted to think about other things. But in fact, if you let yourself dwell on things that are right there in your heart, some of my best writing has come out of those days. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about my writing.
Awesome. And thanks so much for sharing. Yeah. You know, I often, because I've just come to the writing in the past year, as a therapist, yoga therapist, because it was so valuable with the therapy. I knew that's where I needed to go for my next step on my healing journey, and fell in love with poetry, and stopping here. But yeah, I often think, boy, if I'd have, if I'd have had this writing practice through some of the stuff years ago, it might have helped get through some of it somewhat there. I wanted to mention that Betty here has you both beat, and she's 89. And she got married on this day 64 years ago. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Well, goodness, thank you so much for sharing there. Did anybody else want to share their process or about their writing at all? Um, well, Bethany, let me give it back to you. What do you want to, what, that was loaded.
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Yeah, I always say that, grief is the best and worst thing that ever happened to me, because it just really, it opened me up in such a deep, raw way that I wasn't able to run from it. It was just there. It was in my face and it was not going anywhere. So, yeah, but I also write happy things. I also write about joy. I've done a couple of very amateur stand-up comedy bits. So, yeah, I can be like super silly or like super serious. So there's that. So there's also a lot of joy, and joy and grief can also exist simultaneously, as I'm finding out. But yeah, thank you for sharing so deeply about your journeys. Um,
Yeah, that was rich. That
uh,
was very rich, beautiful conversation. And I do thank everybody for sharing, uh, and all that. Do you have any final words or a final poem, Bethany?
I would like to share a poem about poetry. This is titled First Love. I make love through pen and paper, kissing ink with every stroke, passion in every note, love, blood, sweat, tears, fears bleed over manuscripts dear to my heart and soul. What it truly means to me cannot be told. It's a feeling, a rush. Energy emerges. I feel my body flush. It's never enough. I need more. Insatiable, undoubtable, etched into my very being, my DNA. I was born with a poet's heart. At birth, my pen was in my hand, ready to start. It is my soul's art. my oldest friend, my most trusted and loyal companion. Through youth, old and beyond the great transition, I am blessed with writer's vision. I am endlessly grateful for this as my divine gift, where I find my truest voice, expression of my highest truth. Its purity is the essence of a higher mind, my one and only, my first love for all time.
Oh, um, thank you so much, Bethany, for coming and sharing with everybody today. What I thought it for anybody that wants to share, but like to do, is go around in the circle and ask everybody what they're leaving with. What are you taking from this conversation with you? Um, so of course you don't have to say anything, but please say something. Let's see. Joanne?
Oh, I was so impressed with Beth's facing her fears, getting up there and talking in public. It is so admirable to face your fears instead of running away from them, and even carrying it a step further, getting out there in public at open mics. That's terrifying. Exposing yourself. But I'm in awe of that. The second thing I want to say is I can't wait to play with the letters the way you were saying. That was just pure play, and I'm going to do it. Thank you for that tip. I can't wait to play with my letters.
Very cool. Thanks so much, Joanne. And it's so great to see you. Thanks for
Thank
being here, my dear. All right, who else? Brenda, do you want to say?
Oh, sure. Wow. Okay. This has been very nice hearing your story, Bethany, and always a joy, all you ladies. It's just a blessing, just being here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was kind of swept away from reality a little bit today, caught up in the conversation. It was pretty nice to let that go for half of a second, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. And always, Brenda. Patty Joy, what are you leaving with here today? What are you taking with you?
Well, I'm leaving with lots of wonderful ideas from lots of wonderful women, uh, all from different things. You that are 87, 89, 88, give me hope that I will live that long because I'm only 78. And I think, I looked at Maggie and I said, couldn't be, no. Or Judy,
Hello.
no, you all can't be that old. Betty, I don't see you. But I mean, gosh,
I
it was
know,
an,
wonderful. Ooh.
and Pia, I wrote her a note. I'm in those same classes you're in, but I go in the morning, Mondays, usually, well, 3 days a week I do chair yoga.
Okay. I probably
Yeah.
have seen you on there because you looked familiar, but I couldn't remember because I was there Monday. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
when we celebrated Ellie's birthday. So I was there.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you. It's just healing time.
Yeah, thanks so much, Patty Joy. Yeah, Maggie.
I always sign up for the yoga thing, but it's at like I think 6:30 or something
Oh, I
Pacific
know, it's
time, and
okay.
then I'm if I'm awake, I think, oh, I don't want to get out of bed and turn on the computer. So,
Yeah, that's
but
all you have to do is turn it on, though, because you can do it from bed. People have tuned in from hospital beds and listened to
yeah,
these things.
yeah,
It's more about our
I,
nervous
yeah,
system
but
than
yeah.
anything else. But
Anyway,
yeah,
maybe sometime. But I move as much as I can in all kinds of different ways. But I just, again, I want to say thank you. I do this all the time. I always come away from these kinds of experiences with something. It an appreciation and an amazement, really, at just the greatness of the people, of all of you. Um, and sometimes, listening to the news, or if I'm angry about the neighbor's fireplace smoke blowing in my house or something, and I forget that I forget for a minute how wonderful we are and how wise we are as a bunch of human beings, and trees and rocks and stuff too. But
Right.
yeah.
Right. No, it
I just,
stirs us. I agree. I hear you. I
yeah,
hear you loud
yeah.
and clear. And
So
yes, thank you for
it's a
saying
gift.
that.
It's a gift that everyone gives me to just enrich my life a bit and give me more hope, and just that we're somehow we're going to be all right. I think at what, even going through really hard times personally or as a country, maybe it'll work out
Both.
somehow.
Both. I mean, I'm sure we all have our own little stuff going on, but for sure. But I do think that this will help us get through it all a little bit gentler, perhaps. And it's wonderful to have a space where you can have a little bit of a different kind of conversation. And that's really why I love the community so much, is because there's a little bit of depth there, some kind of meat to hang on to in the conversation. And you don't have to be afraid to say anything, because honestly, we all accept each other as we are. And it's just amazed me. It amazes me. So thanks for being here and for bringing that to the table. And yeah, your energy though, when you're gone, it's different. And people are like, where's Maggie coming back? I'm like, I don't know. She's not keeping in touch via email while she's on this vacation. She drops off the radar. But I'm so happy always when I see you come back. So thanks for being here. Judy with a P, Judy P. I don't know what the other Judy's last name. So Judy P. What are you leaving here with today? What are you taking with you?
Well, I really enjoy this. Is the first time I've been here, and it was my daughter that found this workshop or whatever, and she said, "I think you'll like this." So she she insisted that I enroll. But now I've got, well, since you say that your yoga can be done on a bed, because I've got two fractured vertebrae right now, so I can't jump around or bend very much. But it's in the same group as this one, is this workshop?
Yeah. And
Okay.
there's also the other community where the fella Matthew Sanford, who is in a wheelchair, he has a whole
Okay.
community.
Yeah.
And
Because it might help
he's
me.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, any kind of movement. So we're all connected.
Yeah.
We're all of the whole body. So any kind of
Okay.
movement is good.
Okay.
But yeah, we can connect on that later. And what are you leaving with then? What are you taking with you from today's conversation?
Well, it was just a joy to meet everybody here and find out I'm not the oldest. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for trusting our space. Very cool. Betty, did you want to say anything today as what you're taking with you? Okay. Judy.
Thank you for the space, Jen and Bethany, and for meeting all of you. I did come in today as more of an observer. I've written a journal on and off my whole life. I am interested in doing a little bit more now. But I do have a little trauma and fear about that. So just kind of tiptoeing into this space. So appreciate. I've been to some other of Jen's offerings, like poetry and yeah, I think mostly poetry. And so I know that you attract kindness, compassion, this space where people can just be who they are and be accepted. So I am just I'm going away with this. I think I was smiling the whole time, just this feeling of joy within that the space that you hold is it's just really beautiful.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
See that
appreciate it.
touched my heart. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all for seeing me. Pia, what are you taking with you today?
This is
What
my
you going
first
away?
time doing one of your workshops, and it was lovely. Thank you for creating a beautiful, I feel like we're in a digital campfire. It's really nice. So thank you so much. And I heard about you through Phyllis Will Die. I think we did the Joysters together.
Yeah,
So I
right,
looked you
right,
up and
right.
saw your website and thought, wow, you're just a lot of our interests in yoga and writing and everything overlap. But thank you for creating a beautiful space. And thank you, Bethany, for your beautiful poetry and sharing that with us.
Thanks. Are you taking anything specific with you?
I think just to echo what Maggie said, and also a shout out to our beautiful ladies who are 87, 89, and all that. You guys look fabulous
Yeah, no kidding.
and are just, I love that intergenerational, and you're really inspiring me. And I love that, Maggie, that you're just living your best life. And when you want to go off the grid, you do. So I think that is really
I
cool.
know
I think
that's really
really,
cool.
I think that is so cool. So definitely just leaving with a very open heart. That's what I'm leaving today with.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that's the message Bethany wanted to get across there. Stacy, do you want to say what you're leaving with today?
Sure. I'm also super grateful for the energy and the really safe space that you provide. It's like maybe the first time I'm actually like Zooming with people, sharing with people. So you just really provide such a comfortable, safe place that I feel so like okay to be seen. And I don't know, I really like Bethany's poems and her sharing. I was relating to her raising. I was raised in a similar restrictive way, and I'm really inspired to maybe try open mics. And she just really inspired me to be a little bit more brave and take the next step. But I really liked, I don't remember who said it, but embrace uncertainty. That's kind of what I'm taking with me today.
Cool. Yeah, that was Maggie, I think. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I think I got everybody. If I did, scream out now or forever hold your peace. Yeah, on Tuesdays we're here with some kind of different thing. It's a little bit different every Tuesday. And Thursdays we have a writing workshop, which is more intimate. Um, and we do writing and sharing if you feel called to share. But that one's not recorded for public, and that one's a lot more dives a little bit deeper. But Maggie likes that one too, though. So it's not anything to be scared about. You never ever have to share. I come from this from therapy and just trying to heal myself. So that's where that's at. Um, Bethany, um, what's landing in your heart right now, and how are you leaving here today?
Oh, ah, just my face hurts from smiling so much. So I'm just a lot of joy. Just wonderful to connect with all of you. I feel like Maggie's living the dream life, man. I just want to be like Maggie when I get older. That sounds amazing. I think all you ladies are just doing amazing, amazing work. I mean, I'm a big believer in, self-love is like the answer, to all the world's problems. If we all loved ourselves, then we would all be, where we want to be.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, just super
Well,
grateful. I feel such joy, and it's just an honor to be present here with all you ladies. I'd like to keep connected in some way. I usually tutor on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. I switch my
I know your time slots aren't don't kind of jive there because she's tutoring at our time slots.
but I
Um,
feel like we'll come back together at some point. It'll happen. So
and you're on Facebook though, and Any other contact you want to share or how they can get in touch with you there?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I got a YouTube. You can find me at Bethany Taulbee or Take a Breath with Beth. Um, or if you just hashtag BLT poetry, BLT is my initial, so it's kind of fun. You'll find me there. So
Cool.
love to
Cool.
hear from any of you. So thanks.
Wonderful. I can't thank you enough for sharing today. You got out of your comfort zone doing this today is what was shared and with me. And I just wanted to say thank you, and we hope you had a good time. And we just thank you for being with us and sharing with us and trusting us. And yeah, we hope you had a great time. And may you stay true to your work and true to yourself and keep it going, girl. Keep shining. Keep shining. Everybody leaving with everything they wanted to express. I don't want anybody to leave with anything in there. Everybody is all flushed clear. Cool, cool. Please go to zenfulconversations.com, and that's where you can see all the free offerings. And just thank you to everybody that supports this community. Thanks for being here. And
Thank
true
you.
deep gratitude. Namaste, everyone. Bye.
Namaste.